Hey everybody, it's Eric with District 82 Pinball. I know we have not done a video in a while, or a repair video anyway, on getting stuff fixed. So let's show you one thing that I personally do to all the games before they go to District 82 that you may not, that kind of gets overlooked, and that's repinning connectors. Okay, so this is Paragon, and for the most part, Paragon works. Okay. Now, it does have an issue that sometimes it's like, oh, some of the lights aren't working. So you're thinking, okay, is it the light bulb? Is it the socket? You know, what is it? So first and foremost, let's just push the test button, which is on the inside of the coin door. All the early Bally's and Sterns have a test button. The Bally's have this red one. Sterns have like a big white one. So you push it one time, all the lights start to flash. Now, this particular game does not have LEDs in the playfield, so it's a little harder to see. But you can see right now, that 2 is not working, right? I don't know if you can see that, but you see how the 2 is not working? Kind of focusing on the 1, 2, and 3 here, Steve. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wiggle this connector right here. Okay, this is your lamp board. This is, you know, roughly like 30% of your lights, another 30% of your lights, and then the rest of them are kind of over on these ones. And if you just take the connector and just kind of wiggle it back and forth, boom, all of a sudden you saw that the 2 just came back in. Okay, so there, let's see. Oh, it's out. Right, now I'm pushing on it again, and there it's back in again. Okay, now there's 2 things that cause this. Okay, one, the back side of the circuit board has what's called cold solder joints. Okay, now a cold solder joint. Here, let me show you a cold solder joint. I'm pretty sure this one has it. A cold solder joint is where, like this pin right here, number 1. Let me see if we can zoom in there, or the one that has it right next to the 20. You can see how the solder's kind of cracked all the way around it. That's not allowing a good connection, okay? And so then when you essentially wiggle the pin like this, makes connection, breaks connection, makes connection, breaks connection. So first and foremost, you gotta resolder all these pins, okay? Same with these boards. You gotta resolder all the pins on the back side of the circuit board, okay? And that will probably fix half of your issues. The other half are with this connector, okay? Now, you can see in this connector right here, every one of these wires has a pin that's inside of the connector, okay? Now, you can replace the whole connector, this whole brown connector, and all the pins inside of it, or you could this brown housing is perfectly fine. I could just reuse the housing and replace the pins. And that's normally what I do. So what do I do here is I first take my phone. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Okay, so that way I know where all the wires go. So as I'm pulling them out and putting them back in one at a time, I don't get it out of order. That's pretty important. On the lamp, just the lamp won't work. If you do that on the power side and you get the 12 and the 5 backwards or something like that, then you're gonna have some real issues. Okay. So what are the tools we're going to need for this? First, I'm going to reuse the connector, so I just need a little screwdriver. Oh, by the way, here's the 2 pin sizes that are pretty much in all the pinball machines. These are the .100s and the .156s. The .156s are a lot easier to replace. They're much bigger, and the .100s are kind of small, okay? Okay, so I'm going to start on one end or the other. So on this one, let's just start with this orange wire right here. Now the way you get it out is you just take your smaller flathead screwdriver and crush the pin and pulls it out, okay? Now if you look at this pin, I don't know if you can look at it real clear, it looks kind of oxidized and just not like the best, okay? Let me pull the, there you go. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my new pin, which is nice and shiny and bright. I'm gonna cut off the old one. Like that. Usually put it in a garbage. I got my wire strippers. I'm gonna strip back a little bit of wire. Okay. I'm gonna put my new pin. Okay, these particular crimpers, you can use all kinds of different crimpers. I like these because the new pins, oh boy. If you can look at the new pin, it's got the spot here. You got like the bigger part on the bottom, the littler part, and then you got the part that actually goes that sticks into the connector. This littler part is where your stripped wire goes, The bigger part is where the insulation of the wire goes to hold it in place. And this crimper will actually do both at the same time because it's got a double like crimp there. So I just put it in here. Now I kind of know where to stick it because I've done it a bunch of times. Then I'm going to stick my new wire, or my original wire that's got it stripped back. I'm going to stick it in there, and I know pretty much how far to go. All right, and there you go. Now it's on here now. The insulation part is crimped to the bigger one. The stripped wire is crimped in the little one, and I got a little wire sticking out left. And then I'm going to stick it back into the connector with this little prong on the back. Here, I'll take it out a little more so you can see it a little better. That little prong up there is what sticks into this open area to hold the connector in. And you can feel it kind of click when it goes in, and then you can't pull it out. Now, if you look at these, you can probably see how that new one is nice and bright and shiny compared to the other ones that just kind of look dull and pale. Okay? Now, once you've done that one, all you got to do is about 200 more for the rest of the game. So it's not that big of a deal. But on so these are the little ones, all on there. At a minimum, the ones that I personally do is this connector. Okay? That's the power in from the rectifier board. I do this one, and I do this one. These three have to be redone, okay? Now, this one I typically do all three on the rectifier board as well, down here. And these ones are the bigger pins. Like, look at that one. I mean, dirt and grime and stuff don't really matter, but compared to one that has new pins, it makes a difference. So if your connections aren't, if things are working, not working, back and forth, don't forget to repin the connectors to keep your games running a long time.